Well, welcome back, and hopefully here I am with another interesting video for you. Today I'm going to show you my collection of pre-1910 equipment, and we're going to begin with the basically like the 1903 cartridge belts that they had. Both companies here, there were two different companies that made them, Russell and Mills, and the Russell tends to be a little bit more flimsy looking. The buckle is a little bit thin, and even the material just seems to be a little bit more weakly made or something. I don't know why. Um, and usually you find it in like a khaki-ish color. Now the snaps on this one are rather unique because they are not spring snaps. Like if you saw my video on the 1910 equipment, they are definitely not spring snaps. They are, however, eagle snaps, rimless. And the way that these cartridge belts worked was a little bit outdated, basically. If you know anything about the Spanish-American War, one of the main rifles that they used was the Craig rifle. I think they did have a trapdoor also, Springfield trapdoor. Both of those rifles were single cartridge, basically single cartridge rifles, where in the sense that the Craig, you would pull out loose ammunition, not on a stripper clip, and literally throw it into the magazine. If you don't, I mean, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But those rounds were in a cartridge belt that had single loops, and that buckle was in the front, but all the ammunition was completely around the soldier, even around the backside. So when they made this design, I think they still had that mentality of well, they can reach around the backside of themselves and get the ammunition. Because the wacky thing is about these is that this is the front, and although I'm quite a bit bigger than these guys were, the ammunition was still, or the ammunition pouches were still in the backside of the soldier. This here is the backside. Now, the way you adjusted these belts was somewhat similar to the British 1908 pattern, where you would fold, as you can see here, you would fold the belt and make it this, make it, give it more this way or make it more this way, and you could expand or contract the width of the belt. And of course, then you would put the little horns in here, which keep the edge of the buckle of the belt from sliding around. Now, the Russell tends not to have any description or any writing on their equipment. I've never really been able to see any writing on their equipment that I can tell you. But yeah, I've never been able to see any. But anyway, that's basically what this looks like. Mine is not in the greatest conditions, but attached to this thing here is my reproduction 1903 suspenders. Now these suspenders are basically, in my opinion, a very terrible design. This is one single loop, and you can adjust the height or the length of this belt, which of course gives you the height of the belt itself. But this strap here, you adjust it from here, and then of course you've got this part here that attaches basically to the front with adjustments here. Now, I've seen others that have metal on this side here, but this is a reproduction 1903. I believe I got it from What Price Glory many years ago. So this thing here is incredibly a bad idea. I've used this in reenactments when we went to Columbus, New Mexico for the Chasing Pancho Villa deal. That whole ceremony that they have there on March 9th. So you should go. Anybody who likes all that kind of stuff, you should definitely get a chance. You should definitely go down there if you like that. But it's a very bad design in my opinion, very bad. But this is the Russell cartridge belt. Now let me show you the Mills. Is kind of a nicer looking belt. It's a bit stronger looking. Material thicker, heavier. The buckles are much thicker in metal. It's I guess you would say it's OD green, or maybe even what we call the pea green, as I've said before in my 1910 video. Also, these tend to be a little bit more on the pucker pouches, where they're sewn in, sort of like pleated almost. Neither this one nor the Russell have the extra strap, but what they do have, or at least what this Mills has, is 2 pockets inside for each stripper clip of 5 rounds each. Okay, so again, if you saw my 1910 video, you'll see that they actually had a different type of strap. They had one strap. And this is definitely the spring snap. You can see the little wire inside there on both sides. And the spring snap style with the eagle snap. Rimless. Much nicer, like I said, it's thicker looking material. It feels a lot nicer. Mills tended to mark a lot of their stuff. So hopefully you'll be able to see this. Can you see that? Yeah. They marked a lot of their equipment like that. And that actually, what you just saw was on both sides of the belt. But still, the design was still buckle in the front, pouches in the back. Party up top. What is the business on top? Party in the back. And this, I believe, it's been so long since I've looked at this. I believe that this is an original 1907 pattern. I haven't looked this up in so long. I don't remember if this is real or if it's a reproduction. But in any case, this is a pattern 1907. The 1907 was quite a bit better than the 1903 pattern. However, oops, I lost the strap. It still had one strap here, another one over there, and then these here would crisscross around the back and basically held in place by a little piece of metal. Now, this one here, I was pretty sure it's real, but it could be a reproduction. Okay, but that's the 1907 pattern, and this is the Mills cartridge pouch, or I mean a cartridge belt. Now this here is definitely for real. For reals. How do I know? Well, what did I say about Mills? And they love marking their stuff, right? Look at that. Okay, so they like marking their stuff, but this is the same thing, 1907. November, yeah, I believe this, yeah, it's 1907. And this one does not have the little metal keeper. Like you saw the other one have the little metal keeper here. But otherwise it's the same thing. Okay, so this is definitely original. Now another thing I have here that's pretty neat is an original canteen. These tend to be horribly expensive. This is a Rock Island Arsenal. 1903. And this is the hook that you would use to put on your cartridge belt. This is definitely original. You can see by the rust there, that screams original. And the back says Rock Island Arsenal 1904. Definitely saw these in Chasing Pancho Villa. Now, I wanted to show you something else I have. Between the wars, or between the Spanish-American War and I guess World War I, but also 1910, there was a lot of experiments with equipment, leggings, suspenders, even some of those cartridge belts, even uniforms, and even scabbards for the long 1906 type of bayonet. This one here is marine. These are marine leggings. He's got these little eyelet hooks. Marine stuff is always more difficult to find. But if you saw my video of the 1910 style, this one does not have any type of metallic or metal rim frame or to keep it rigid. It just folds, and it actually has this for your ankle boot, so that when you have it on, they don't slide up and down. Because those of you who know World War II, the World War II had the bottom strap to hook up to underneath your heel, or between your heel and your shoe. This one did not. These early ones did not have that stuff. And the last thing I have for you to show you is one of the coolest things I think I have. As I mentioned, between the wars, there was a lot of experimenting with uniforms. This is one of those little experiments. They did have this for a while, but not too long. And this is a pattern 1903 uniform. This one is in pea green or OD green. And some of the differences in this one here is that it's got these lines here, which I think you did see in the 1912, I believe. At least you saw it definitely in the khaki summer wear. I think they also had this here, but this one has like round, what they call like bellowed pockets, and you can see the pattern. It was kind of tailored, I guess. You can see the original OD green here. It's pretty nice. Just that it's pretty worn out. But the one thing that really stands out, I just put my hands on it, it had a stand down collar, or a fold down collar. Okay, and it also had two places for your collar discs, or cross rifles, or whatever you needed to put on there. But it had four instead of just one on each side. But that's kind of what makes it kind of unique in a sense, besides the bellowed pockets. In other pictures from 1909 and such, I've seen them or I've read that they started to just cut these off, just to make it the more well-known stand-up collar that you would definitely see in like World War I and the 1910, 1914 type uniforms. But I've had this for many, many years. I did have make like a little. My mom made me a little repro of this one, but it got damaged in the rain. And it, as you can see here, it tends to sort of flare out a little bit. But if you want to look at a really cool uniform, definitely go on DuckDuckGo or Bing or Google and look up the 1903 U.S. tunic. It's pretty cool. Not a lot of people even know about them, but very cool in my opinion anyway. So that's all my collection, not that much. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I encourage you to look up stuff now that you know a little bit more. Maybe you know, maybe you didn't know. The cartridge belts, I actually see them on eBay all the time. Sometimes they're only $100. Sometimes they're like $500. It just depends on who's selling them. And I've seen great conditions for $150 or $100. So if you're a collector, I would say go ahead and get them. And the only reason that I see them a lot is because people don't buy them. They're not interested in that period. They don't know about that period. If you're doing like anything that has to do with Pancho Villa, you absolutely need to get some of this older equipment, because remember, the people who went down there, the guys who went down there were National Guard, and the National Guard then and now and then, still get the hand-me-downs. So they were definitely using all this older stuff. Well guys, I think that's all I have for you today. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on my next video.